everyone, and welcome to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast, where in every episode, we center our discussions around a crucial aspect of our communities. Today, we're focusing on a pivotal role of small businesses. These enterprises are more than mere commercial entities, as they are a driving force behind innovation, community development, and economic growth. Small businesses embody the entrepreneurial spirit, offering unique products and services while contributing significantly to the local economy. Their importance cannot be overstated, and supporting them is crucial for the vibrancy and resilience of our communities. Let's explore the dynamic world of small businesses and understand why their success is integral to our society's prosperity. Today, we're delighted to have Courtney Khimji, founder and CEO of Chimera Collective, as our esteemed guest. Courtney is a communication specialist and an entrepreneur with an impressive 15 years of experience leading integrated campaigns for global brands. Known for her agile approach and bold mindset, she has spearheaded award-winning projects across the communications landscape, including earned media, content marketing, and experiential production. A writer at heart, Courtney holds an MA in the Humanities from the University of Chicago and has used her expertise to establish Chimera Collective as an independent PR and marketing firm specialized in integrated services for blue-chip global brands. Now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Courtney to the audience and to the podcast. Hi, Courtney. How are you?
Hi, Maheen. I'm well. Thank you.
Very pleased to have you with us this afternoon. Now, Courtney, you've undoubtedly embarked on an incredible journey in scaling your own startup. And, our audience is eager to learn the ups and downs, the highs and lows, the hurdles that you've overcome. And, they're eager to listen to your, the milestones that you've accomplished. Now, we'd love to ask you, can you share your experience in scaling Chimera Collective as a startup? And what were some of the key challenges and the milestones that you've come across from your journey?
Sure. Thank you for asking. It's been an adventure for sure. I think every entrepreneur goes through the experience of taking that first leap, which in my experience was really the hardest step. It's taking the initiative and making the decision to, leave a stable job, leave a secure future, and take that sort of leap of faith. But once you do that, it all starts and the wheels get in motion. And from there of course are highs and lows. But for me, it's been a really positive experience and a really exciting learning opportunity. So every day, of course, brings its own challenges, but also when it's your own business, the wins feel really exciting as well. And so I've been really grateful to experience that. We've been in business for 7 years now, so we've had lots of opportunities to to discover new things every day.
That's beautiful. Now, if there would be one piece of advice that you would like to share to our entrepreneurs who are in the process of scaling their own startups, what would it be?
I think it's really important to find a community of like-minded business people, fellow entrepreneurs, people who are living the same thing every day. For me, coming out of a big sort of stable corporate job and starting out independently, you lose a little bit of the network that you're used to having. And so one thing that's really helped me is finding other entrepreneurs, being a part of the small business community, finding people to lean on, supporting other people doing the same thing. And often when you're having a big challenge or a problem that you don't know how to solve, someone else has the answer right at their fingertips. And it's just having those conversations that really can help open up doors and, push through those sort of sticky moments.
Absolutely. Now, let's also take a moment to recognize the invaluable contributions and the great work that women do or women bring to the table in these, in these perspectives or in these domains. Courtney, you as a successful business, woman, what unique perspectives do you think women bring to the entrepreneurship and leadership?
Well, I think all individuals bring their own experiences. Of course, it's not always or specifically a gendered issue. I think everyone brings their own stories to entrepreneurship, and that informs their path forward. However, of course, as a woman, there are particular, circumstances and issues that we navigate. I've really worked to have our business diversity certified. So we're certified by We Connect International because I'm a female founder and because the percentage of women business owners in Canada is very small, and particularly those that go on to succeed is even smaller. So having that certification, having that network of support has been important, and also reflects my ethos as a business owner in terms of trying to really cultivate that sense of diversity and equality within the business. We're also a living wage certified employer, which means that everyone has pay equity. Everyone has a living wage salary within our business at all levels. And that's something that I think, of course, comes from my own experiences within the industry and my own commitment to really standing by those values.
No, that's great. And it's very important too. But with such a vast experience, it's 15 years. It's not an easy feat. But what were some of the challenges that you faced in particular? Centering the gender specific challenges in your career.
I think establishing pay equity is something that is important for many women. Yeah, one of the thought leaders in the space, Cindy Gallup, she's a big advertising executive in the States. To paraphrase her, don't empower women, pay them. And so just making sure that we walk the talk and that the women in my team are fairly compensated and that we really stand by that commitment to pay equity, I think is hugely important to me. There's also so many other things that can be done to help women move up in their careers and support them. But for me, it really comes down to the bottom line of just making sure that the fair pay is established.
Right. Now, you also expressed a keen interest in spotting and training young, aspiring individuals. And let's take a moment to appreciate the importance of, mentorship and talent development from a very young age. Courtney, what strategies do you employ at Chimera Collective to identify and nurture young talent?
Yeah, it just happens organically. I do a lot of work in mentorship, both formally and informally. I always try to take the time to network and have coffees with young people who are just starting out in the industry. I also have a couple of mentees who I work with on more of a long-term basis. And I've always hired young talent because that's the nature of industry, sort of agency structures, is you need people who are able to come in and bring their energy and enthusiasm and grow along with the business. I've been really lucky to have some of my senior staff come with me throughout the whole time that we've been in business. And I've really had a chance to train and identify people that I think are high potential and have been able to have them grow alongside me. And that's been a really fulfilling and fun experience. I think it also comes from the fact that my profile in the industry is not necessarily typical. I didn't go to PR school. I didn't go to business school. I studied poetry. I have a master's degree in poetry. And so, I'm open to profiles that are a little bit different and that come from a background that isn't as conventional as what you might see in other agencies, for example. And so I always like to have an open mind. I always like to see CVs that are a little bit different, and then work with people who are smart and capable and motivated to train them into the industry and teach them, how to fit into the roles that we need support on.
Now, these are the strategies, but how do you, I'm just curious, and so would our audience be, but how do you create that environment that, contributes to innovation and growth among your team members?
Well, it's definitely changed, pre and post COVID. I think right now we work remotely, which means we don't get the same sort of face time within our team and our junior staff as we would have previously. So that has been something that we've been giving a lot of thought to in terms of how to maintain and enhance the sense of culture and training opportunities for younger staff. For us, it's moments where we deliberately take time to get together. We deliberately have training days. We have moments where we're able to really engage in qualitative time instead of quantitative, to make sure that everyone is learning as they go. And for me, I also really believe in empowering people to take on as much responsibility as possible as early as possible, so that you can see when someone is ready to step up, and it's not necessarily hierarchical or they're an account manager so they can only do these 3 jobs. If you can do something, I really think people should be empowered to do it, and that's where we're able to really promote quickly, promote internally, and help people really thrive in their roles.
And get the best potential, within them is it's a key, I guess, to have a, long, fruitful journey with them. Now, as we all know that AI is making a mark on the, on the communication industry specifically. And, we'd like to take a moment to really reflect on how AI is really transforming the landscape of communication. We'd like to get your thoughts on this as well, Courtney. How do you see the tech impacting this industry? Specifically, like how is Chimera Collective adapting to this new technology of AI?
Well, it's really interesting. I think it's affecting the whole business landscape, not just communications. In our field, communications is one part art, one part science. So the human element is something that we really need to hold on to in terms of creativity and ideation and strategy. So that's something that I don't think AI has a place in. However, there's also a huge amount of operational work that goes on behind the scenes in agency structures. So there's a huge amount of, relationship management, spreadsheet management, contact management, event planning, logistics, et cetera, where there's a huge opportunity to be more productive, to lean on these resources to make us smarter, to make us more efficient, and to take away some of those lower level tasks that previously, have been delegated to junior staff and are not so much fun for anyone, and to really work in a more agile way. And for me, that really comes down to the heart of what, I believe Chimera is, and what I think our strength is that we're able to, work in a way that's extremely efficient and smart. And so, of course, technology plays an important role in that. So we're really investing in that. We're innovating. We're putting a whole series of new processes in place moving into next year so that we can start really leveraging that and hopefully, delivering the outcome of better and more agile work for our clients.
And with such a fast-paced, advanced tech, in this very advanced tech era, I mean, AI is here for a very long time. Courtney, what potential do you see for AI in enhancing the effectiveness of communication strategies?
Well, it's automation, right? So the more you have something that becomes implemented into a system, and it's not just one-offs happening, independently, but where there's a real methodology in place, I think, of course, that makes things more efficient, and that's going to have a benefit for everyone. Where I've seen it go wrong for clients and people in the industry is when it's being used to replace that human side of things, where it's being used as a writing supplement when you actually need a human writer to come in with those thoughts, or where it's being used as a supplement for creative thinking, where you really do need that artistry as well. So it's finding the right balance. And of course, everyone is testing and learning. Everyone is figuring this out as we go. So we'll get it wrong, we'll get it right. It is what it is. But it's experimentation, but that really is what innovation is all about. So I embrace it. I think it's great, and I think it's ultimately going to be beneficial for the industry.
I think it's a great learning curve for everyone, and we are adapting to the great technologies such as the AI. But now that we've touched base on the latest tech trends, let's kind of turn our focus towards some of the global trends in the market, right? Now, given extensive experience, Courtney, what key global business trends do you currently observe, and how are they shaping the communications and marketing industry?
Well, I mean, the global business landscape is changing by the minute. It's very complex. It's reflective of the geopolitical global context as well. There's a lot going on in the world right now that is influencing and informing how consumers are buying, how they're living, how they're managing their personal budgets. And so today's consumer is different than last year's consumer, and that's different than pre-COVID's consumer, and it's always changing. And so, um, from a communication standpoint, that's something that we really counsel our clients to take into consideration and to really tailor their strategies so that they're relevant and aligned with culture and the types of markets that they're infiltrating.
Now, to add to that, like, what should businesses do to adapt their strategies to really stay ahead of the curve and stay ahead of this ever evolving time competitive landscape?
Yeah, of course, it varies depending on the industry or the product category that you're working in. That relevance is really important, and I think it can be executed in a number of different ways. But just tapping into the culture of your consumer, really engaging in storytelling, not just selling, and really building narratives that are going to speak to people to build those relationships, so that customers are not just buying a product once, but also staying loyal, and really forming meaningful, purposeful relationships with brands and products, I think is something that's important.
Now that we really focus and emphasize heavily on, this in this fast-paced digital age where staying ahead is so important and it's very essential for small businesses to really survive. But on a final note, Courtney, we'd love your advice on this. Like, can you provide like an example, like a success story of how a trend has successfully been implemented in a recent campaign or a project at Chimera Collective?
Well, trends inform all of the work that we do. At Chimera, we work with a number of blue chip global brands, ranging from L'Oreal to Accor Hotels to Reformation, the apparel brand, to Tinder, the dating app. So we're working across a number of different spaces. One thing that we often lean on is data points from trend reports or surveys to really tap into what consumers are doing, to provide journalists with content that can really inform their writing. We've seen in the media landscape that there are fewer and fewer journalists and more stories to tell. So we really try to build our campaigns in a way that provides content to media and helps them, deliver stories that are impactful and relevant to their readers.
Now, Courtney, as we wrap up the conversation, I'm sure our audience is equipped with the wealth of knowledge, but what would be your final piece of advice for women entrepreneurs who are navigating through this tough times in this fast-paced tech industry?
The advice I would give to other entrepreneurs, whether it's women or men or whoever is embarking on this challenge, is to really believe in yourself and to stand by your decisions. It can be hard when you're facing a lot of different opportunities and a lot of different possible ways forward, but you really need to just trust yourself and try to move forward a little bit every day.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Courtney, for coming down to see us and for sharing such, profound advice and profound insights that, could be very helpful for our listeners that are looking to scale their business in this fast-paced digital era. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We would now like to express our profound thanks to Courtney Khimji for joining us today and sharing her invaluable insights and experiences. Courtney's journey in scaling Chimera Collective and her perspectives of women in business, spotting young talent, and adapting to global trends provide a wealth of knowledge for our listeners today. A key takeaway from our discussion is the importance of embracing change, whether it's through technological advancements like AI or adapting to global market shifts, and the vital role of effective communication in business success. We would also like to extend our gratitude to our partners, RBC, UPS, and Zero. Their support is crucial in fostering the growth of small businesses and entrepreneurs. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. Your engagement is essential in supporting the young business community. So don't forget to subscribe to the Canadian SME Small Business Magazine for more insightful content. Visit CanadianSME.ca to stay updated with the latest in small businesses. Until next time, keep empowering your businesses with innovation, communication, and strategic leadership. Thank you.